everybody. Welcome to the Shakespearean Shrew. I am your Shakespearean Shrew, Karen Feiner, lover of all things bard and drama and theater. This is a decorum be damned entrance into all things about the theater, the stage, for there are many stages, as Shakespeare taught us, and many players on them. And so I am here today, and we're talking with a cast who is not doing Shakespeare, but doing something very different in a different place. Yes. And so I'm going to throw the ball to you all and have you introduce yourselves and the role that you're going to be playing in their upcoming production of The Secretaries. So I just read, when I was reading it, it was by the 5 lesbian brothers. And I was like, I'm intrigued. Tell me more. And so we'll hear more. All right. So you want to start us off?
Yes, my name is Katy. I'm going to be playing Patty. So excited to speak with you today.
Hello, my name is Laura, and I will be playing Peaches.
Hi, my name is Isabella. I'm playing Dawn and also one of the producers.
Yes. Hi, my name is Hannah, and I will be playing Ashley.
And I'm Anna. I play Susan, and I'm also one of the producers.
Very nice. So I was reading the descriptions of your characters.
Yes. They're something.
They are something. So we've got New Girl, right?
Yes, ma'am.
We've got just the actual lesbian.
Yes.
Yes. No, it's on.
What were some of the other ones?
Sweet, slow-moving target.
Yeah. And then
We have Susan's psychopath.
yes.
Yes. Just constantly climbing that ladder.
And I'm cult leader.
Yeah.
Yes. I believe that's mine.
I mean, and you're the producer, so
Oh,
yes. It makes perfect sense.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
So as producer, cult leader,
yes.
was this so in you're also producing?
Yes.
Co-producers. So was this your brainchild? You came up with this idea?
This absolutely was our brainchild. We wanted to do this play. We first found this play, what, 2 years ago?
2 years ago. It was our freshman year in a class called Intro to Dramaturgy, and we read it for our midterm, and we were hooked. All 3 of us were in that class, actually.
Yeah, we were immediately obsessed. It was unlike any piece of theater I'd ever experienced before. It was also like a point in college where I was like really looking for something that catered to my experience as opposed to the other experiences that are more prone to happening in theater. And we got really, really excited about it. And then we just kept talking about it and kept talking about it. And then finally about like January, I would say, we were like, well, we have a cast right in front of us. We could just do it. And then that's it. And then here we are right now. Yeah.
So this is, and you are all OU drama.
Yes.
Yeah, that's right.
New drama.
Love it. So you all decided to do this. You're doing it outside of OU.
Yes.
But you're doing it in Norman at the Yellow Dog Coffee Brewery, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
How did that come about?
We had been cold messaging the most random places in the OKC metro, just waiting for a response. And we messaged Yellow Dog, and they were like, we don't typically do performances in our venue, but we'd love to have a chat with you guys. And so we had a chat with Yellow Dog, and they agreed to let us use the space absolutely free. So they are literally been the biggest help of this whole process, giving us the space for no cost at all, just support of the arts, I guess.
So how have you worked? Because obviously it's not your typical theater space. how have you worked with that? Is it more like theater in the round? How are you?
We saw the space a few days ago at our last rehearsal, full day rehearsals that we were having. And at first I think collectively we were all a little worried about like how we were going to perform we're doing two sides of an audience, right? So it's kind of like we're hitting a little corner and we're performing in this corner space. But we went and it was actually perfect. And the way that the audience is going to be seated and the way that the kind of like industrial feel of the room that we're in is ideal. They have these giant coffee bean bags, just like put on top of one another. And we were like, this is perfect. It's like a pallet at a wood chop factory.
It really is perfect because the show is called The Secretaries and we're in an office. But the office is the office of a lumber mill.
Yeah.
So we got in there and we were like, oh, this is going to be a little bit more immersive than we were anticipating or hoping for. So another, very exciting.
So you mentioned that this play really plays to your experiences, which I think is hilarious, seeing as the premise of the play is that it's
Yes.
of women who gather together and once a month or once a month kill off the lumberjack.
Totally happens, guys.
Yeah.
So how does this play to your experiences? Should I be concerned?
Well, we talked about when we started table work about like what is this play? It's very absurdist. And we kind of landed on this could be two things at once. Like this could be a magnifying glass of women's issues that like actually exist in a competitive environment. And it also can be a satire of like how men view relationships between women. So the relationships and things that happen can be true and not true at the same time. So it could be like, oh, the interaction between two characters is like, oh yeah, like this is a very much exaggerated version of something real that I've experienced. Or it's, oh, I totally see like this interaction being something that I've seen dramatized over and over again by shows created by men or whatever. So I think that, that for me, that's how I relate to this show.
It definitely gives off like Mad Men vibes.
It's also like a full perspective on how women in a not only competitive environment but in a working environment often see each other as their number one enemy versus curating like an environment of love and support for one another. I find that in our department we're all really good at our theater department, we're all really good at holding one another up versus tearing each other down. But I've been in many places where that is just not the case. And so sometimes we are each other's biggest enemies and
Competition.
Right, exactly. And this is an outlook on how not, there's no men in the play, but you have the outside male voices that come in, but they only happen few and far between. So how much of it is their influence on us versus how much is our own influence on each other.
What we do to each other in the name of the movement, some would say. Yeah. I feel like for me, I read it later in class with Katy, I think a year later, and we also fell in love with it. So hearing that we were able to do it just felt like so exciting. I'm so happy to be a part of this process. And I think it's so interesting because I feel like another big thing about, how this plays to us is these are some characters that are so satirical, and such a I guess bold stereotypical version of what a problem is. So sometimes you wouldn't get to play these characters in a professional world, or I wouldn't get to play a certain character in a professional world, but I can still sympathize and realize what she's going through. And I think that's something I really enjoyed, is getting to also compare and contrast my experiences to a character's experiences and how I can bring what I have to that character when I usually wouldn't be, say, typecast as that character, which I really enjoy.
It's you talk about that, and I think that's so important because as actors, playing these different roles, allowing yourselves to get these different perspectives, it's also very helpful in developing empathy. I always wonder because for the players, for the actors, you have that, you're stepping into a different role, you're stepping into a different mindset for a while. How does that work for your audience? Do you think that the performances really impact audience empathy, perspective?
Something we said at the very beginning of this process was the idea that we're doing this play regardless of what people's perspective on it is. We're doing it, number one, because we love it, and number two, because we find it poignant in our environment. And so I think that, this is kind of a negating answer to your question, but it is fully up to that audience member. They either get it or they don't. And if they don't, that's okay. Maybe they'll discover it later when they're like, oh, this looks really similar to this is what happened. Or, you might have a woman sitting in that room or somebody sitting in that room being like, oh man, like this is how I directly treat, my coworkers. Or it's not up to us to make somebody understand something. That's the beautiful work of these playwrights, is that they have it. I mean, we're not trying to hide anything in the show. We say it all. And so there's no hidden message within. I mean, when y'all watch it, at the end of it, there's even a little bit where we talk about the point of the story, and I'm not gonna go into that.
Watch it to get the point.
But it's a very, you kind of wear it on you kind of play, and you either get it or you don't. And that's cool. Some people are. Right.
Another reason that I was particularly excited to do this play in this calendar year is because there's a lot of stuff going on in the political environment in terms of what they're letting arts institutions produce right now. This is one of those plays that is immediately doxxed by any regional theaters don't typically produce this play. It's always been this kind of like underground thing. And I just think it's really, really important to continue producing work, even if not everyone gets it.
I mean, it was originally performed in a coffee shop, in a cafe, and so we're just kind of seeing this repeat in history over and over again.
Sorry, and repeating history, back in the 90s when the show was being produced, the NEA, the National Endowment for the Arts, big Supreme case was going on. This is when these grants were being taken away from artists who had originally been promised these grants because it didn't fit with, I guess, the administration at the time. A lot of it featured LGBTQ plus, characters and topics, just really things the government now would be out there. And so 4 artists took this case to the Supreme Court and won it. And the Five Listening Brothers saw this all going on in their time, and they were like, we want to produce the most crazy out there theater as almost a rebellion, a show of, to take back protest. Yeah.
It's like a retaliation piece.
Right.
And it was written. It was written to say, you want to see crazy, like, let me just lay it out on a page for you. But there's still this whole essence of truth in it. I mean, it's not...
it's unapologetic. It's vulgar. It's wild.
Well, I think it's funny because Hannah mentioned that you say it all. Yeah. There are no secrets there. It's all kind of laid out there. What you see is what you get. But even as we're talking about our current political climate, I can hear what is not being said because we live in a time where things, you're scared about what's going to be said and the retaliation of it. And so I think it is a good piece to show kind of that pushback.
Right.
It's also our job as an artist to perform the piece regardless of who is watching it, and our own personal views on it sometimes. I mean, most of the work we're gonna do in our time, we're probably not gonna agree with, and that's just like the function of being an actor. I think what's really cool about this group of people is this was something that was brought to us because we were all invested in the story. And I think this is one of those few times in our career where we will be able to do it because we love it and not because it is what we have to do in order to be considered an actor.
I I also think that's a really great segue into what also is special about our process. The five lesbian brothers wrote this as a devised piece, right? So 5 playwrights in a room. And you know, of course, we're not writing or anything, but a way that we've wanted to bring that energy into our room is that we don't have a director. We're doing we block the scenes via community agreement, which is crazy and wild and hard. But I've really grown it as an artist. I don't want to speak for you all, but I'm having a great time. Yeah.
Not contrast, but like it's different than what I've been doing, which is university theater, where there's a director who, you know, from table read already has an idea of how they want to see characters be, and they will let you know whether or not you are fitting in with their vision. And that's helpful for learning to be in the industry. But this has been such a unicorn show for me because I have had to come up with my own ideas, and there are points in the room when everyone looks at me and they're like, okay, what is your idea? And it's like, I have to know. It's so fun making myself, you know, come up with the ideas and get to know the character and have an active hand in it. It's been really fun, and I get to do it with a lot of amazing people who also have really amazing ideas. So yeah, that's been fun being part of a devised process. I think I want to do
There's a lot of trust that has to happen in the room. A lot of trust that we're not going to set each other up for failure. Rather, we're setting our show up for success. It's not like an individual person's show. It's a very equal in measure show. And I think that's been interesting to like go through the scenes and be like, we kind of have a system where it's like permission to express my thought on this, just so we're not, you know, stepping on each other's toes, because while we are now co-workers in this sense, we are also still peers, and it's hard to pull that layer back of like, okay, I'm gonna see you in play discussion next week. It's been a growing experience, I think, for each of us individually to be like, how can I address you in a way that is respectful to your work, but also gets across my ideas that I have and my perspective on things.
I think it goes back a little bit to what you were saying about helping the audience. It's not something I'm used to either, where usually the director has in mind, well, this is what is going to read to the audience, and now we get to figure that out for ourselves, but also being able to bring in our own ideas, and again, things that are happening in the 90s that mirror today, but also what is so different. There are so many lines in the play that reference 90s pop culture or 90s technology, and we have to do all this research, and it's so interesting because there's not someone else in the room saying, oh, that's what it was, so this is how you have to do it. And I've really enjoyed that because I feel so much smarter and just general knowledge, but also in what I think works for playing on stage and then for watching other people play on stage.
This is amazing, and I have to ask. So any specific 90s references that you had to go look up that you really liked?
Have you heard of Slim Fast? Yeah.
My whole character is based off of Elizabeth Ashley. I almost said Elizabeth Taylor. Elizabeth Ashley Slim Pass like commercial units that she did, and where she was like, and I used to look like this, and now I look like this, and you can too if you drink this all day and then maybe have a dinner later.
Oh yeah, that's. But your dinner was just grilled chicken and vegetables.
Right. So that's like a big part of it. I mean, we're secretaries, so we had to learn different like keyboard,
Shift F3.
yes,
Yes.
moving. And we say all this and like, you know, anybody literally slightly older than us is gonna be like, yeah, duh.
Yeah, absolutely. We're like staring at a keyboard.
It has been like part of our choreography though. It's like we're trying to learn all the commands and stuff. I can't even imagine a time like I've always had a mouse in front of me. I've always been able to like go with it like this with the cursor, but it's definitely interesting when we're typing. We gotta be specific with it. It's interesting. Yeah.
And none of you experienced the AOL dial-up.
Oh my gosh. My mom still has her AOL account. She tells me about it, and I think sometimes like this is such a crazy reference. I'll talk about the Secretaries Pen 15. When they're doing the AOL, I just think of that every time. So it's
Oh yeah.
yeah. There's my research.
So you talked about the trust that you all have developed. It seems like you're all very much on the same page in terms of the show itself, but both in terms of how you want to progress and develop as actors and your goals for the performance. But like you said, there's a lot of crassness. It's a vulgar play. You're sleeping with people you're not supposed to be sleeping with, and so
Causing lots of problems.
I don't even know what I'm doing.
Fire the new girl. But so with all of that, how do you get through? Because you don't have, somebody from the outside who's kind of like, does everybody feel safe? Does everybody feel comfortable?
Well,
or do you?
This is a good time to plug the other two people
Ah,
involved in our
yes.
production.
Yeah.
Yes.
Shout out to Kaylor Peterson and Ava Collier.
Yeah.
Kaylor is the third producer. He is a large part of why we get to do this show. He has done so much work behind the scenes, helping us secure Yellow Dog. I mean, he's been constant props, Yellow Dog, constant reassurance for me and Isabella.
Yeah.
He also functions as our stage manager, which is great because we do have systems in place for like, what if we have a disagreement in place? Oh, let's have a chat with Kaylor. He's a great mediator.
Yes. And Ava as also an outside eye.
Yeah, and Ava's incredibly valuable for multiple reasons.
Ava's also the like part
Understudy.
costume designer, understudy.
Hair
Like
and makeup.
just they are very
Hats.
they are in the process, like full jump in just as much as any of
Yeah, and trust, like they're offering perspectives on like they're sitting in the audience. We don't know what we look like, and sometimes they're like, Anna, I can't see your face right now, and I'm like, oh, thank you very much. So yeah.
It's important as artists and as creators, no matter how hard it is, whether that's like maybe you bring in, for us it might be like a professor one day, or maybe you bring in another theater friend. It is important to have somebody that is set apart from the cast in order to kind of like mediate through. I think that is a very important thing, and I think that I would like to not be the one to like, if I went up to Anna and I was like, I'm having this issue with you, fix it. It's so much easier to be like, Taylor, Anna's kind of stressing me out. And then very kindly he, helps us redirect ourselves.
And so in terms of like, because a lot of plays you'll have like an intimacy designer, coordinator who's like, this part's a little, how do we deal with the uncomfortable situation?
We do also have an intimacy designer.
Yes.
We haven't met with her yet, but Miriam Worley is gonna be our intimacy designer, and there's a couple scenes in this play where we definitely do not want to be offering feedback to each other, and that's why Miriam's coming in, and we're so excited to have her. Yeah. So
that's a good point though, because I didn't, as a collaborative group, I didn't even really think about, Oh, yeah, you guys giving feedback on some of those more.
That's a whole other game in it itself. Like
Yeah.
directing yourself it's a skill set you have to learn. And I
Yeah.
don't think any of us have that skill set, like directing our own selves,
Yeah.
like
Mhm.
acting and then looking and directing. So it's been nice for us to like look at each other and be like, let's think of this and
Yeah.
try to
Yeah. But
adapt.
we've been doing a really good job of
Yeah.
keeping each other safe though.
Yeah.
Which is why also so glad that the other part of our creative team is also so dedicated to like our vision of what we want the play to be and also genuinely cares about our well-being.
Yeah.
It's wonderful.
That is sounds like it's a very safe environment to do a very unsafe production.
Yes. Yes.
Which seems needed.
Yes, for sure.
So do you have any favorite parts of
Gosh.
the production, whether they're yours or somebody else?
What can we say? We don't want to spoil anything.
I'm trying to think of like anytime we are all together in a scene, I'm having the most fun.
Yes.
Which happens often in the show.
Yes.
Anytime we break from the reality of the play,
That's also very interesting. Yeah.
reality of the world.
It's fun, but it's a challenge.
Yeah.
Especially because we're a Stanislavski based, like, I mean, it's based, but like, you know, like, we go by the book a lot, and absurdism is a class we haven't even taken yet. So
Yeah.
the absurdist, like heightened absurdist scenes have been fun, but a challenge because it's like, okay, how do I make this connect with all the other parts that were, are kind of semi-believable.
And sometimes it just doesn't.
Yeah.
Sometimes it just doesn't.
Yeah, that's been a real workout, especially.
It's like one giant SNL sketch.
Yes.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I really love, I'm not going to spoil anything, but I will say, I really love the parts where we're all wearing pink sweaters. Yeah. That's when it really cranks up. Yeah. There's a part of the play where you're like, oh, okay, this is cute. There are girls in an office. Oh my gosh, so cute. And then we put on the pink sweaters, and then it's like, oh.
So it's like the opposite of Pretty in Pink?
Yeah.
Prepare your hearts and mind for coming.
Yes.
So when the pink sweaters come out,
Yeah.
you should all be concerned.
Take that all.
Get up a little straighter in your seats. Clench your fist a little bit.
Drop in.
It's a lot, but it's so fun.
Yeah.
And it is a workout.
Yes.
Yeah.
The ending really picks up the pace and your energy, and I think you need a lot of stamina for the end, but I think one of my favorite scenes happens at the end, and although it's so tiring, it's kind of like after you finish a workout, you're like, I did that.
Yeah.
Feels like to me.
Now we've talked about stamina and how I'm like, I feel like we need to see this. We need to see this play.
It's you. There's no words that can describe it until you witness it.
Yes.
Which is a really good reason to buy tickets.
Exactly.
So speaking of which, tell us how to get tickets.
How do you get tickets?
Oh my goodness. Go to the Secretaries Instagram. We will link it in the podcast description or something. And click on the link in the bio and get yourself some tickets. Student tickets are also have a discount to them. So if you are an OU student or just a student in general, go get them, guys.
Yeah.
So it doesn't just mean OU. So students far and wide.
Yes.
If you want to see some experimental fun theater, because I feel like that's where
That's what it is.
that's where we're going with this one.
This show's very fun.
Experiment, all right.
Fun.
I think there's a lot of people that would appreciate this play.
Oh,
yes.
You know, even given like our regional location,
Right.
there is so much beauty and interesting things going on in Norman and OKC that I think people will love this
I'm
play.
just saying, I read it and I was just like, this is one that my husband would actually like. I read it back and all
There
that.
you go.
I'm like, would you please come? He's like, fine. I was like, I'll actually be excited for this one.
Yeah. A pretentious show.
No.
Not at all.
That's
We're not trying to be something that we're not. Like it's
Yeah.
very it's not watered down, that's not the right term for it, but it's
But
very, it connects with,
accessible?
yeah, it's
Is that the right term?
accessible,
Yeah,
yeah.
accessible.
term.
Yeah.
Inviting to all
Inviting.
people of all places, you know.
Yeah.
I want to say almost like in your face, but
Yeah.
just
But
maybe with a lot of like makeup on, but it's still a face.
so it's funny. It's so funny. I swear we're so funny in it. I laugh like the entire rehearsal.
Something happened the other day, I turned my face, giggled to myself, and then snap back into it. Like, it's fully, there's this, and we're always discovering something every day in rehearsal. Like, Lada will do something, I'll be like, what is going on? Oh my God. It's actually a wonderful
Yeah.
experience. It's so fun.
Even if you take nothing away, like philosophically from the show, which you probably won't, but like you are gonna have a good time. You're gonna have a good laugh, and that's what theater is really good.
You're gonna
for.
get to see a play in a coffee shop, which
And
is
it
my
smells-
dream.
It smells
Oh, it
really
smells
good.
great.
Yeah.
Great.
It really does.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
can have coffee and see a play and giggle at the same time.
Mhm.
Which sounds great to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what do you like about, because as we talked at the beginning about some of the descriptors of your characters, which sycophant came up, you have a plethora of descriptors. Well, what do you like about your characters?
Great, that's great. What do I like? No. No. Katy, do you want to go first?
Well, it's funny. I think if you ask anyone in this room, I think I'm the one who started off hating my character. Yeah, my character model was Emily from Emily in Paris. And if you've ever seen Emily in Paris, you kind of know what kind of insufferable character that is. But really, she does go to France. She doesn't even learn how to speak French. But it's a very well-intended character, just like mine is. She's not walking in here to turn her nose up at people. It's just something that kind of happens. But in her heart of hearts, she just wants to, prove herself. And I think that's something I can really relate to is, having the qualifications and wanting to show for it. And fresh out of college, you get your dream job. Oh my gosh, like that's so fun. I can only imagine.
As the secretary?
Yeah, exactly. So for Patty, I really like how she even if she doesn't understand what's going on, she continues to pursue what her original vision is. But she also doesn't let, things blow past, she doesn't, even though she's new, she doesn't take any sly talk.
Yeah.
Sometimes these girls are kind of bullies to her, and she stands her ground, and she retains most of her dignity most of the time. So I love that about her.
Nice.
Oh, Peaches.
Peaches Martin.
Peaches Martin. I really do love her and I feel for her a lot. She's just she confused me a little at the beginning. I think she went back and forth, picking sides, and I liked that there are things I feel like a lot of the women in my life, including me, could relate to when it comes to the way other women view them. Which isn't something I always thought, like, no, like all these women are on my side, and then I don't know, it kind of never goes away that like women versus women, even though it never should be. And even we talked a little bit about like the male voices on the outside, and sometimes how much of it is the male voices on the outside or just the women telling us it's the male voices on the outside. So I like that she has opened my eyes a little bit. I like that I can be creative with her, and that she is just, especially again at the end, and that like one of my favorite parts of the play, that she can have her moment. And I think that it's so important for like women, no matter what it is they're doing, to have their moment. Come see the show. Yeah, but I just like it, she is sweet, and she tries to be a girl's girl, is what we'll say today.
Might change tomorrow.
Most of the time she tries to be a girl's girl, but that she cares about other people and she works hard. Even though sometimes it may not be healthy, and I think we need to remind ourselves that you have to be healthy.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Real. Dawn. She's kind of an asshole. And that's what I love about her. She's just arrogant. She knows what she wants, which may not be the best for the other women in the office. But it's kind of refreshing to see a woman role be so upfront about her wants, her needs, and how she achieves them. Granted, again, so sorry other ladies in this office for them. But it was also cool to play a queer character on stage. I don't see many, especially being from the 90s. It's really dwindling. And even now, you see a very a positive, which is good, a very positive look in queer characters. But queer characters are allowed to be messy and mean, and that's cool to see and play on stage. So she's refreshing, crazy but refreshing.
I mean, that would have been when I was in theater. That was my typecast. I was the bitchy lesbian. Always.
Isn't it awesome?
So I'm like, I'm just paid for this role,
Right.
But you were like describing Dawn, and I was like, oh yeah, I would have been Dawn.
I have played around with Ashley for a long time. I used one of her monologues in an audition piece for a Shakespeare show, actually.
Did you get it? Was it As You Like It?
It sounded like it,
You did
where
get it.
I then in turn played the crazy like forest spot, basically. Which like kind of makes sense, I guess. I know. I love Ashley's slow descent into madness, and I think there are only a handful of female characters that get to play with like genuine like frenzy and like mania, that's like still fun to play with, right? And for Ashley, she is so obsessed with the idea of becoming something that she allows herself to just completely lose herself in the process. And I think that's, I mean,
Oh, she's like Lady Macbeth.
yeah, she really is. She's very like things are gonna happen this way, and then when they start to not happen her way, it just completely drains. And I think that's so fun. I love going crazy on stage. I like it's literally my favorite thing to do. And there's a scene in this show where I just crash, and it's actually the most enjoyable thing about acting currently for me. I also love how she's just smart. She's just really smart, and the things that she says them very intentionally. And I am not the most intentional person with my words. I kind of just speak. And so it's a great challenge to play somebody who does not do that.
Do you think her intelligence correlates to her madness?
Absolutely. It's definitely like, yeah, it's like I explained it to somebody, her character isn't like it, like, she's happy and then something happens and she gets sad. She's happy or she's sad. Or she's angry or she's not. It's not, there's not like a like transition period in between. I think that's interesting to play with.
Okay, my turn.
Yeah.
I love Susan. Susan is confident. She's a control freak. She loves herself. Susan's favorite person in the room is always Susan. I think this is a really, really fun role to play. I love playing Susan. I think that all of the relationship she has with each of the girls is like equally fucked up in a new and interesting way. I watched a lot of documentaries about cult leaders in different capacities. And the research that I've done for this role has actually been like really, really fun. No.
She's not a lot of female cult leaders.
There's not. Should
be more.
Susan is the representation that little girls need.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Hey, if theater doesn't work out.
No, actually. Yeah. Yeah.
I love it.
Mhm.
I love it. But it's because we talked about the negative adjectives that have been correlated to all of your characters.
Mhm.
You've just given me all of these pieces of your characters that describe like the powerful, the agency, you know, the self-love, even to a very high degree.
To a
But like these women who it's you know it's going to be a shit show. I'm very excited,
Mhm.
but it's a house of powerful women.
Yeah.
And that is something that we don't really get to see very often. Again, you know, Shakespeare is my usual place of residence, and so we really, you know, we do see some amazing female characters for the time.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's always exciting to see so many women roles, because a lot of times that's also the thing. It's like, you know, this is a man's world, and instead it's like, no, this is a woman's world. The men get to be the sounds from the outside,
Right.
yelling into the room.
I think what really draws me to this piece, because there's so many plays about how women are held down by men, and at a certain point it gets too real, and at a certain point as an actor you just don't want to do works like that anymore. Not negating their importance,
Yeah.
because they are extremely important, but when you continue to do pieces like that, especially in a collegiate setting, it becomes kind of draining a little bit. And what draws me to this piece is that this play is not about men in any capacity. And we're not, you know, actually, we don't ever directly really put down the men in this show unless we are remarking on something that they have said in the show. It's really the opposite. It's, you know, the whole, you know, like the trad wife movement on TikTok, Instagram, and whatever, which these women kind of subscribe to the idea of these are our roles and we need to play them to a T, but they're not doing it for the men in the show. They're doing it somehow in order to impress each other, which is an interesting outlook, because that's not what we do here in this world currently. It's just very, very different, and it's not written for one specific person. It's just a show, and I think that's great.
Okay, so the show, it's coming up in like three weeks. Less than that, 2 weeks.
19 days?
19 days? 18 days?
Is it 18th?
I believe it is 18.
Oh
yeah.
my gosh. The countdown continues.
Yeah, the countdown does continue. Yes, we have 4 shows between September 12th and the 14th, with 2 shows on the 13th.
Oh man, that's gonna be a doozy with how much energy and activity you said are.
Talented.
It's okay. We have coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be crazy.
So what time are the shows? Just so people can make some
8
plans.
p.m. 8 p.m. Matinees at
Matinee is at 2.
2, and then 8 p.m.
Okay.
Get there early,
Yes.
because
Yeah.
the doors will be closed.
I think we're gonna close the doors before the play starts, but we'll have plenty of time before house opens.
Yeah.
And so that you can get your coffee
Yeah.
and
Grab a coffee.
hang out in the beautiful space.
And they have baked goods that are absolutely delicious.
They have delicious baked goods.
Shout out Lily from Yellow Dog
Lily, we
for
love
helping
you.
us with all this stuff.
Yes.
She's cool.
But yeah, caffeine, baked goods, and an amazing production. I mean, it's my happy place.
Yeah.
I'm so excited.
Literally perfect.
All right. Any final words that you want to say to people about the show, or
See it.
Come to the show, come support independent artists.
Yeah.
Trying their very, very hardest
Totally.
to bring unique art to a small community.
Yes.
We're trying so hard. Yeah.
I love that. I don't think we can end on better words than that. So get your asses to Yellow Dog and come support these amazing, this amazing cast, because I know that there is a gentleman amongst
Our co-parent.
We love you, Taylor.
Love you, Taylor.
All right, remember everybody, all the world's a stage, and you too can be a shrew. Bye.
Bye.